Hello, so welcome to the next square of the 50 Stitches Crochet Along, and today we're making the herringbone stitch. So it's called a herringbone because it looks like the backbone of a fish, and it has this lovely zigzagging pattern all the way down. So for this one we need to make our stitches in a different way to usual. It's a single-sided stitch. It's kind of double-sided, but it looks different on both sides. So that's the main look of it. So how do we make it? So for this square we're going to use a 4.5mm hook, and we're going to start by chaining 30. Now in the second chain from your hook you're going to make a single crochet, and unlike our other squares, a turning chain doesn't count as your first stitch. So the single crochet you just made is the first one. And now we need to make a herringbone stitch. So for a herringbone stitch you're going to go into the side loop of the single crochet you just made. Then go into the next chain, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Okay, so there's your top loop. That's now the herringbone stitch with that nice line there, and here we have the side of your stitch. So to do the next stitch, hook through the side stitch there, into the next chain, yarn over, pull through, then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. So each stitch is going to have these 3 parts. You've got the top of your stitch, the herringbone, which is this middle part, and the side of your stitch here. You're always going to go through the side, which on this first row can be a bit awkward. It'll get easier in the rows coming up. So hook through that side stitch into the next chain of your foundation, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. And we're going to carry on doing that all the way down the row. So through the side, yarn over, into the next foundation chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through all 3. And you can see those lovely side diagonal stitches starting to form. Okay, you're going to do this all the way down your chain. So through the side, then yarn over into the next foundation chain, yarn over, pull up a loop. Oh, if I got 4 in there. I yarned over wrong, didn't I? Let's start that one again, shall we? Into the side, into the next foundation chain, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. That's more like it. So you're going to do this all the way down the row. So I'll carry on and I shall see you when we get there. Okay, so I've got to the end of the first row, and you can see I've got these lovely diagonal stitches on the front. So you can have 30 stitches in total, okay, once you're finished. And we just finished the last stitch with the herringbone stitch. Nothing special. So now we're going to turn. Now this row is the tricky row. So we're going to chain 1, and we're going to make a backwards single crochet. All of this row is made using backward stitches. What that means is you're going to insert your hook from back to front. So I'm going to go into the back of the loops of that first single crochet, okay, and then finish off as a normal single crochet. Okay. These can be tricky stitches to get used to, but you'll see the effect is worth it. And so now we need to do a backwards herringbone stitch all the way across. And this means we're going to be going into the back side stitch. We're going into that side loop, round the back, then hook through from back to front of the next stitch, yarn over, pull through. I find it helps to twist my hook through, and that's much easier. Then yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Okay. So now we're going to go through that side loop again, through the side, keep your hook to the back, your yarn to the back, sorry, so you don't get caught up with your hook. Then hook through from back to front, yarn over, pull through, and then pull through all 3 loops. If I turn over, you can see that we're starting to get the diagonal stitches, and they're the opposite way to the row below. So through the side loop, into the next stitch from back to front, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops. And we're going to do this all the way down the row. Through the side loop, and through the next stitch from back to front, yarn over, and I feel like I'm just rolling my hook round. I find that's easier than just trying to pull it straight through. It just keeps hold of the yarn easier. So I just turn over. There we go. It's a bit pulled at the front at the start, but it'll come straight as we go down the row, and you can see those diagonals coming through in the opposite way, and that is your herringbone. So it looks like the backbone of a fish in these kind of chevron shapes. It's going to go all the way down the row. I'll just do a few more. So sometimes it's easier when you're doing these backward stitches to let go of your yarn and just let it flop. Get your hook through that side loop. This is where nails can come in a bit handy. Get hold of my yarn again. Make sure the yarn is to the front. Hook from back to front through the next stitch. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops. We'll just do a few more. So through the side, let's stitch at the back. Okay, through the loops of the next stitch, just roll your hook through, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops. This stitch can be time consuming, but I think it's worth it. There is another version of the herringbone which uses double crochet stitches, but I think the single crochet version just has a better look to it. Okay, so you just carry on like that all down the rest of the row, and then you'll come out with this beautiful herringbone look at the end. So I shall see you when I get to the end of the row. Okay, so I'm at the end of the row and I've got 1 stitch left. And the last stitch of the row is another backwards herringbone. So I'm just going to through there, backwards, into the last stitch, okay, and I'm just going to pause there, and I'm going to bring in another colour. So I like to change every 2 rows for this stitch just to keep that nice chevron look together. Now I'm just going to pull that through the last 3 loops. Turn and chain 1. Just take that out for a second. There we go, and you can see the lovely herringbone look. Okay, so for the next row we're going to start with a single crochet in the first stitch. Okay, a nice normal one. And this row you're going to repeat the first row. So in through the side of that single crochet, through the next stitch, pull up a loop and pull through all 3 loops. Through the side of that stitch you've just done, through the next stitch, pull up a loop and pull through. And now we get your herringbones going the opposite way, so the same way as row 1. So you get this diagonal effect going up. It will come out as in pairs with this nice look. So the whole square is a repeat of rows 2 and 3. Okay, so exactly the same as row 1, through the side, and through the next stitch, pull up a loop and pull through. Yes, look at those nice diagonals again. So if I go back to the original square, you're going to repeat rows 2 and 3 all the way up the square. You're going to have 20 rows in total. So we're finishing up here. For the border, you're going to make a single crochet in every stitch across the top and bottom. For the sides, you're going to make 2 single crochet in one row, 1 single crochet in the side of the next. 2, 1, 2, 1 all the way down. So just alternate between 2 single crochet and 1 single crochet in the side of each row. And then don't forget your extra stitch in the corners for the turn. So it can be a bit of a tricky stitch, but it does make this lovely thick, really dense fabric, and I think that lovely look is just worth it. So if you have any questions, please do come over to the Facebook group, always there to help, and come and show us your finished squares. So I hope you enjoy, and I shall see you next time for the next stitch. Bye for now.